Hi friends, this is your Yoganandam, biology lecturer from Edall Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the biology full test paper. Let us discuss the question and answer with detailed solutions. Question number 1. In which of the following collenchyma differ from sclerenchyma? Collenchyma are living mechanical cells. They have non-uniformly thick walls which is mainly made up of pectin. They retain protoplasm at maturity. So the answer for this question is option B, retaining protoplasm at maturity. Question number 2. The evil quadrant represents the four major causes of biodiversity losses: habitat loss and fragmentation, over-exploitation of natural resources, invasion by alien species, co-extinctions. So the answer for this question is option A, four major causes of biodiversity losses. Question number 3. Two enzymes responsible for restricting the growth of bacteriophages in E. coli were isolated. One was methylase and the other was restriction endonuclease. Which is the significance of methylase? The host DNA is protected by other enzymes called methylases, which methylate adenine bases within host reconnaissance sequences. For each restriction endonuclease, the host cell produces a corresponding methylase that marks the host DNA and prevents its degradation. So the answer for this question is option C, protection of host DNA from the action of restriction endonuclease by adding methyl group to one or two bases, usually within the sequence recognized by restriction enzyme. Question number 4. A genetically modified bacteria producing human insulin can be obtained by adding a human insulin gene inside the genetic material of a bacteria. Choose the next step in using the modified bacteria to treat diabetes among the following. Human insulin can be produced via genetically engineered bacteria having the human insulin gene added to its plasmid. Once the modified bacteria has been developed, it can be commercially mass produced in a bioreactor. The insulin produced can be purified after extraction via various downstream processing. Using the altered bacteria directly may cause undesired restrictions to the diabetic patients. So the answer for this question is option C, put the bacterium into fermenter to multiply rapidly. Question number 5. The wall of sieve tubes develop into sieve plates together getting associated with. The plasmodesmata act as channel between the cell walls of adjacent plant cells. They are mainly involved in transport and cell-to-cell recognition. Structurally, the sieve tube wall is dispersed with plasmodesmata and are grouped together. So the answer is option B, plasmodesmata. Question number 6. Splitting of centrosome is significant feature of. During anaphase of mitosis and anaphase 2 of meiosis, centromere splits and chromatids are separated. These chromatids are known as daughter chromosome and they start moving towards opposite poles. During anaphase 1 of meiosis, disjunction of chromosomal pair occur and chromosomes are separated. So the answer for this question is option D. Both A and C are correct. Question number 7. Secondary carnivores occupy the. Producers are the first trophic levels. Primary consumers or herbivores are at the second trophic level. Secondary consumers or primary carnivores are at the third trophic level, whereas the tertiary consumers or secondary carnivores or scavengers are at the fourth trophic level. So the answer for this question is option D. Secondary carnivores occupy fourth trophic level of food chain. Question number 8. Which of the following element is required in minor quantities for the growth of plants but is extremely important for the growth of animals? Certain elements required in very small quantities are called as microelements or trace elements. Sodium is one of such element. that is required in very small quantities and is not as important for growth of plants as it is for animals. Answer C, sodium. Question number 9. Which statement is incorrect regarding DNA? The genetic material DNA is always double stranded in animals and chains are always anti-parallel towards 5 to 3 direction, 3 to 5 direction. So the answer for this question is option D. From the given 4 statements, second and third statement are incorrect. Question number 10. Ginger is a straggling rhizome creeping horizontally in the soil. It is often branched rhizome is a modification of underground stem and bears nodes and internodes. So the answer for this question is option C, rhizome. Question number 11. In chloroplast, the site for initial photochemical reaction is. The light reaction takes place in the thylakoid disc where water is oxidized and the oxygen is released. The electron freed up from the water and transferred to ATP and NADPH. The dark reaction takes place in the stroma. So the answer for this question is option C, thylakoid membrane. Question number 12. In humans, the activation of sympathetic nerve system stimulates the adrenal medulla to release certain hormones that help in fight and flight response. A similar type of response in plants can be given by. Abscisic acid is an inhibitory plant hormone also known as dormin. The hormone promotes seed dormancy and inhibits growth. ABA is a stress hormone as it helps the plant survive different kinds of environmental stresses. So the answer is option C, abscisic acid. Question number 13. Observe the below given diagram. Identify the options suggesting the correct functions of A, B and C. See the diagrammatic representation. The given diagram is of female thallus of Morgantia. A represent archegoniospore, female branch containing female sex organ for production of female gamete and receiving the male gamete for sexual reproduction. B represented as gemma cups, structures which contain vegetative cells in them. So these cells help in the liverworts reproduce by vegetative propagation by fragmentation. C represent rhizoids or root-like unicellular structures in liverworts. So the answer for this question is option C. A produces female gametes for sexual reproduction. B helps in formation of vegetative cells and can regenerate into new individuals by fragmentation. C helps in attachment to the substratum. See the question 14. The primary source of allelic variation is. The primary source of allelic variation is mutation, which leads to the appearance of alternative characters. So the answer is option B, mutation. Question number 15. Diploid spores are produced only by. Rust causing fungi such as Fuchsinia produce diploid spore like teletospores in its life cycle. Teletospore is a thick-walled penetrating spore produced by Fuchsinia in its primary host wheat. The spore can survive for long duration in soil and germinate to form basidia which produce haploid basidiospores by meiosis. So the answer is option B, rust causing fungi. Question number 16. In aerobic respiration, how many times more ATP is produced than anaerobic respiration? In aerobic respiration, during complete oxidation of one glucose molecule, 38 ATP are produced. However, in anaerobic respiration, only 2 ATP molecules are produced. Thus, aerobic respiration, 19 times more ATP is produced than in anaerobic respiration. So the answer is option B. Question number 17. Which of the following parts of flower are incorrectly matched? Megasporopils are leaf-like structures which bear microspores, that is commonly called as pollen grains. These structures are stamens which form the male reproductive whorl andrecium. Megasporopils are leaf-like structures which bear megaspores. These structures are carpels which form the female reproductive whorl gynoecium ovulis integumented megasporangium. So the answer is option D, megaspore ovule. Question number 18. From the given options, identify the options which has the family and class. The family name of wheat is Poaceae and class is Monocotyledone. The family name of the housefly is Mucidae and the class is Insecta. The family name of mosquito is Culicidae and the class is Insecta. Solanaceae is the family of flowering plants called the potato family. Example, tomato, belladonna, etc. So the answer is option C, wheat, family Poaceae, class Monocotyledone. Question number 19. Near the tip of grass blades, there is water loss in the form of liquid droplet around special opening of veins. This is loss of water in the form of liquid droplets from special opening called as hydathodes present at the tip of leaves is known as guttation. It occurs due to positive root pressure when water accumulates in the veins endings. So the answer is option B, positive root pressure due to water accumulation in vein endings. Question number 20. In a dorsiventral leaf, the location of palisade tissue and phloem is respectively. In dorsiventral leaf, there is a distinct upper and lower surface. Upper surface is known as adaxial surface and the lower surface is known as abaxial surface. Mesophyll tissue of dorsiventral leaf is differentiated into upper palisade parenchyma and lower spongy parenchyma. In vascular bundles, xylem is present towards adaxial surface and the phloem is present towards abaxial surface. So the answer is option B, adaxial and abaxial. Question number 21. Diabetes mellitus may be treated using insulin from genetic engineering. Where is the insulin produced? Human insulin can be produced via genetic engineering by transferring the gene into the bacterial plasmid and getting it expressed. The insulin in the bacterial is produced within the bacterial cytoplasm. So the answer is option A, bacterial cytoplasm. Question number 22. Cis and trans phase are present in. Cis and trans phase are present in Golgi body. Golgi body is one of the organelle which shows polarity. Cisternae are disc-like parallelly placed structures which get curved. The curvature results in the formation of concave and convex faces. The convex face is known as cis or forming phase, which always lies towards nucleus. The concave or trans or maturing phase always lies towards cell membrane. So the answer is option B, Golgi body. Question number 23. Consider the following statements, transcription and select the right choice. Transcription is under the control of the enzyme RNA polymerase, that is DNA dependent RNA polymerase. The promoter is place which promotes transcription and it is situated upstream of structural gene at 5' end. Terminator is situated downstream of the structural gene at 3' end of the coding strand. One of the two strands of DNA take part in transcription. So the answer is option C. Only 2 is incorrect. Question number 24. Perigynous flower and diadalpous condition are found in the family. The tendency of coercion of stamen result in diadalpous condition in perigynous flowers. Hypanthium, a floral tube formed from the fusion of a stamen, petals and sepals is attached to the receptacle below gynoecium and surrounds the ovary. The ovary is superior and Free parts of the petals, sepals and stamens are attached to the rim of the hypanthium. Perigynous flowers and diadelphous condition found in family Papilionaceae. So the answer is option A, Papilionaceae. Question number 25. Which of the following uses maximum energy? Primary producers are autotrophs that produce energy carbohydrates through photosynthesis by capturing solar energy. Producers occupy the first trophic level having the greatest biomass or gross primary production, where the energy gets transduced from producers to herbivores and to carnivores. Only 10% of energy transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level. Hence, producers receive maximum energy. Answer is option A. Question number 26. How many diseases can be identified by karyotyping? See the diseases. There are many diseases are given from that. Karyotyping is simply a picture of a person's chromosome. In order to get this picture, the chromosomes are isolated, stained and examined under microscope. Chromosomal disorders can be identified by karyotype, but gene disorders cannot be identified by it. Klinefelter syndrome, Down syndrome and Turner syndrome are chromosomal disorders. Results are gene disorders. So the answer for this question is option D. There are 3 diseases can be identified through karyotyping. Question number 27. Crypto games do not have. Pteridophytes are the first successful land plants that had vascular tissues. Xylem consists of tracheids only for conduction and vessels are absent. Phloem consists of sieve cells only. Sieve tubes and companion cells are absent. So the answer is option C. Vessels, sieve tubes and companion cells are not present in cryptogams. Cryptogams are otherwise called as non-flowering plants. Question number 28. The fill in the blanks. Identify the blanks A, B and C and D. The arrangement of leaves on the branches and stem is called as. The arrangement of leaves on the stem is called as pilotaxy or pilotaxy. See the second one. The arrangement of ovule in the ovary is called as. The arrangement of ovary in the ovule is called as placentation. So B, answer for B1 is placentation. See the third one. The arrangement of lateral root on the taproot is called. It is called as acropetal arrangement. Fourth one. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is called as. Inflorescence. So the correctly matching option is C. Question number 29. Which of the following cellular parts correctly described? Centrioles serve as the basal bodies for cilia and flagella. They are concerned with spindle formation during cell division. Lysosomes are membrane-bound organelles containing many hydrolytic enzymes which are optimally active at acid pH, nearly pH 5. Thylakoids are membrane-bound organelles found within the chloroplast. The thylakoid membrane forms many flattened fluid-filled tubules that enclose a single convoluted compartment. The tubules tend to stack on top of each of the form, that is called as granum. So the answer for this question is option C. Thylakoids have flattened membranous sacs forming grana of chloroplast. Question number 30. Select the statement that is correctly relatable with DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid is double-stranded molecule where the two strands run anti-parallel to each other. Phosphate and sugar molecules form backbone of the structure through phosphodiester bond. The nitrogen bases in the strand of each nucleotide face towards the inner side and attaches to the other strand by hydrogen bonding. DNA has, there are 4 types of nitrogen bases and the heteropolynucleotide of these nucleotides. So the answer for this question is option C. N bases projected more or lays perpendicular to backbone and faces inside. Question number 31. A student comes across the following symbol in a pedigree chart. The disease is definitely. The given symbol is of carrier male. Carriers only occur in recessive diseases. The males are never carries in X-linked diseases because they have only one X chromosome. Thus, this symbol can be present in autosomal recessive disease only. Answer is option B, autosomal recessive. Question number 32. In lychee, the third integument which develops from the funicle at the base of the ovule is thick fleshy outer integument as in magnolia is called sarcotesta, and operculum is a structure found in lemna formed by elongation of inner integuments over the micropyle. The carnacle is the structure found in the castor that develops from the micropylar region of the integument. In lychee, the third integument which develops from the funicle is called aril. So the answer is option D, aril. Question number 33. At how many places in Krebs cycle FADH2 are formed? In Krebs cycle, dehydrogenation reaction occurs 4 times, among which there are 3 points in the cycle where NAD is reduced to NADH2 and 1 point where FAD is reduced to FADH2 when succinate is converted to fumarate. So the answer is option A, 1. Question number 34. Consider the following 4 statements. See the statements here, there are 4 statements are given. From that, vexillary or descending imbricate. The posterior petal is outermost and largest in it. Standard or vexillum covers 2 lateral petals. These 2 lateral covers 2 anterior ones. Vexillary arrangement is present in pea family. Example, pea bean. The general characters of Liliaceae family is the flowers are bracteate, bisexual, complete, actinomorphic, symmetry, hypogynous and trimerous, epipylous, and in some plants may epipetalous. They have polyandrous androecium and a superior ovary. So the answer for this question is option B. From the given 4 statements, the right option is first and second statement. Question number 35. 2 linked genes A and B show 20% recombination. The individuals of dihybrid cross between positive crossed with small a small b shall show gametes. 2 linked genes A and B show 20% recombination. Thus linkage is 80%. The given phenotype of plant is positive by positive and AB by AB. The parental genotype will be positive and AB, while the recombinant type will be positive A and positive B. Since the percentage of recombination, the crossover frequency is 20%, the recombinant phenotype will be 10% each. So the answer for this question is option C. From botany, section A followed by section B. From section B, let us discuss 15 questions. See the first question. A mature sieve tube differ from vessels. The vessel is a long cylindrical tube-like structure made up of many cells called vessel members, each with lignified walls and large central cavity. The vessel cells are also devoid of protoplasm. Vessel members are interconnected through perforations in their common walls. The presence of vessel is characteristic feature of angiosperms. So the answer for this question is option B. Absence of lignified walls. Question number 2. Which group of vertebrates comprises the highest number of endangered species? The grim scenario of extinction is the fact that more than 15,500 species worldwide are facing the threat of extinction. Presently, 12% of bird species, 23% of all mammal species, 32% of all amphibians, 31% of all gymnosperm species in the world face threat of extinction. So the answer is option B, mammals. Question number 3. RNA interference involves. RNA interference takes place in all eukaryotic organisms as a method of cellular defense. The method involves the silencing of specific mRNA due to a complementary double-stranded RNA molecule that binds to and prevents translation of mRNA, that is called as silencing. The source of this complementary RNA could be from infection by viruses having RNA genomes or mobile genetic elements which are called as transposons that replicate via RNA intermediate. So the answer for this question is option A. RNA interference involves silencing of specific mRNA due to a complementary double-stranded RNA molecule that binds to and prevents translation of mRNA. Question number 4. Which one of the following cellular parts is correctly described? Thylakoids are flattened membranous sacs forming the grana of chloroplast. So that is the correct one. The option 3, that is option C, is the correct answer. Question number 5. It has been found that the domestic horses have 64 chromosomes in the cells. Predict the number of chromosomes in the egg cell of female horse. Egg cells are the type of gametes that participates in the process of sexual reproduction. These cells are known as have half the chromosome content compared to other somatic cells. So the answer for this question is option B, 32 chromosomes. Question number 6. A man with genotype capital E, capital F, capital G, small g, capital H can produce a capital P number of genetically different sperm, and a woman with genotype capital L, capital M, small m, capital N, small n, capital O, small o can produce Q, the number of genetically different eggs. Determine the value of capital P and Q. A man with genotype, that is capital E, capital F, capital G, small g, capital H can produce 4 number of genetically different sperms as individual is heterozygous for 2 gene locus. Woman with genotype capital L, capital M, small m, capital N, small n, capital O, small o can produce 8 number of genetically different eggs as she is heterozygous for 3 gene locus. So the number of gametes formed can be calculated by the formula 2's power n, wherein the number of heterozygous genes. So the answer is option B. P is 4, Q is 8. Question number 7. UTRs are untranslated region present on. A translation unit in mRNA consists of some additional sequences that are not translated and are referred to as an untranslated regions. The UTRs are present at both 5 ends before start codon and 3 ends after stop codons. They are required for efficient translation process. So the answer is option C, mRNA. Question number 8. In the case of plant succession, when the climax is reached, the net productivity of ecosystem is. In the early stages of plant succession, photosynthesis is more than respiration. In the climax stage, huge respiration of living biomass occurs and photosynthesis is equal to respiration. productivity becomes stable. The climax stage is reached in plant succession. So the answer is option C, become stable. Question number 9. Which of the following these photosynthetic pigments are soluble in water? Chemically, chlorophylls are porphyrin derivatives with a distinct head and tail region. They are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. Chemically, carotenoids, carotenes and xanthophyls are lipid compounds which are derivatives of lycopene pigment. They too are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. Chemically, phycobilins are also porphyrins derivatives with open tetrapyrrolic chains. That means no ring, no magnesium and no phytyl chain. They are soluble in water. So the answer is option D, phycobilin. Question number 11. Identify the following diagram and select the option with correct labels. See the diagrammatic representation. That the given diagrammatic representation is sphagnum gametophyte with A as antheridial branch and the B is archegonial branch. So the correct answer for this question is option D. Question number 12. Which of these modifications of stem is incorrect? Axillary buds of stems may also get modified into woody, straight and pointed thorns. Thorns are found in many plants such as citrus, bougainvillea. They protect plants from browsing animals. Some plants of arid regions modify the stems into flattened, example opuntia, or fleshy cylindrical euphorbia structures. They contain chlorophyll and carry out photosynthesis. Underground stem of some plants such as grass and strawberry etc. spread to new niches, and when older parts die, new plants are formed. In plants like mint and jasmine, a slender lateral branch arises from the base of the main axis and after growing aerially for some time arc downwards to touch the ground. Lateral branch with short internodes and each node bearing rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots found in aquatic plants like Pistia and Eichhornia. This is called offset. In banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum, the lateral branches originate from the basal and underground portion of the main stem, grow horizontally beneath the soil and then come out obliquely upward, giving rise leafy shoots which are called suckers. So the answer for this question is option D. Axillary buds of stems may also get modified into woody, straight and pointed thorns which are found in many plants such as cucumber and pumpkin. Question number 13. In diploid chromosome number in a flowering plant is 12, then which one of the following will have only 6 chromosomes? Synergids are formed by megaspore, which is a haploid structure. The synergids are haploid and possess 6 chromosomes. So the answer is option D. Question number 14. In which of the following conditions transpiration will be minimum? Transpiration is a process loss of water in the form of vapors from the aerial parts of the plants. Transpiration is inversely proportional to the atmospheric humidity. The rate of transpiration would be higher when humidity is low. So the answer is option D, high atmospheric humidity. Question number 15. What would be the genotype of an individual who carrier of sickle cell anemia gene but apparently unaffected? An individual affected with the disease. Sickle cell anemia is an autosomal recessive trait and it is caused by an error in the gene for hemoglobin, a protein which transports oxygen in the bloodstream. The gene defect is known mutation of single nucleotide. It is a single nucleotide polymorphism A to T of beta globin gene, which results in glutamic acid being substituted by valine at the position 6. Hemoglobin S with this mutation is referred to as HBS as opposed to normal HBA. So the answer for this question is option B. HBA, HBS, this carrier, HBS, HBS is affected. Botany followed by zoology. From zoology section A, we are going to discuss 35 questions with detailed solutions. See the first question. Which one of the following is not a characteristic feature of sponges? The sponges possesses an endoskeleton in the form of calcareous spicules, siliceous spicules and spongin fibers. So the answer is option D. Body is supported by chitin. That is not characteristic feature of sponges. Question number 2. Terms such as homothallic and monoecious are used to denote. Plants may have both male and female reproductive structures in the same plant, that is called as bisexual, or different plants called as unisexual. In several fungi, the plant terms such as homothallic and monoecious are used to denote the bisexual condition, and heterothallic and dioecious are the terms used to describe unisexual conditions. The answer is option A, bisexual condition. Question number 3. Which of the following set is a bipolymer of glucose? Glycogen, cellulose and starch are homopolymers made up of monomer glucose. So the answer is option B. Glycogen, cellulose, starch, the bipolymer of glucose. Question number 4. Which one of the following is correct? Blood is a liquid connective tissue. There are two major components of blood. 55% blood made up of plasma, 45% blood made up of formed elements. Blood makes up 8% of human body weight. It contains erythrocytes, leukocytes, thrombocytes and plasma. The rest consists of liquid plasma. So it includes water, plasma proteins, electrolytes. So the answer is option A. Blood, serum plus formed elements plus clotting factors. This is the correct one. Question number 5. The total lung capacity includes which of the following volumes? The total lung capacity includes inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, residual volume and tidal volume. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 6. Given below are steps involved in the mechanism of action of hormones, arrange them in proper sequence and select the correct option. From the given 4 statements, the third one will come first. Binding of hormone with the receptor, followed by formation of hormone receptor complex. Then the next one is biochemical changes in the target cell. Then physiological responses in the target cell. So the correct sequence is option C. Question number 8. If we remove half of the forest cover of earth, the crisis that will occur. Forests are very important to us. They cover about 23.68% of our earth and help in population control. They also help us providing useful food and thus play an important role in ecological balance. Answer is option B. Population, pollution and ecological imbalance will rise. Question number 9. Evolutionary biology is study of. Evolutionary biology is the study of the history of life forms on earth to understand the changes in flora and fauna that have occurred over millions of years on earth. So the answer is option D. History of life forms on earth. Question number 10. Which of the following statement is correct about regulation of kidney function? The regulation of kidney function, an increase in blood flow to the atria of heart can cause the release of atrial natriuretic factor to decrease blood pressure. So that is the correct option. The answer is D. Question number 11. Which of the following alkalis cause emphysema and high blood pressure? Tobacco contains large number of chemical substances including nicotine and alkaloid. Nicotine stimulates the adrenal gland to release adrenaline and noradrenaline into blood circulation, both of which raise blood pressure and increase heart rate. Smoking is associated with increased incidence of cancer of lungs, urinary bladder and throat bronchitis, emphysema, coronary heart disease, gastric ulcer, etc. So the answer for this question is option B, nicotine. Question number 12. During menstrual cycle, which hormone shows dual peak? During menstrual cycle, estrogen one peak during first half and second peak during second half menstrual cycle. So the answer for this question is option B. Question number 13. Type of joint present between carpal and metacarpal of thumb is. The type of joint present between carpal and metacarpal of thumb is saddle joint. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 14. Microbe used in cheese preparation is. Members of genus Propionibacterium shermani are widely used in the production of vitamin B12, tetrapyrrole compounds and propionic acid, as well as in the probiotics and cheese industries. So the answer is option D, Propionibacterium shermani. Question number 16. Which type of forest has become net carbon emitters? The productivity of tropical forest is maximum. Tropical forests emit more carbon than the capture, and tropical forests are now represented as a net source of carbon to the atmosphere. So is option B, tropical. Question number 17. Consider statements given below regarding contraception and answer the directed thereafter. From the given 4 statements, which of the following 2 statements are correct? The first statement. In males during vasectomy, a small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on the scrotum, where in females during tubectomy, a small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in the abdomen or through the vagina. The lactational amenorrhea is absence of menstruation method is based on the fact that ovulation and therefore the menstrual cycle does not occur during the period of intense lactation period following patrition. Therefore, as long as the mother breastfeeds the child fully, the chances of contraception are almost nil. However, the method has been reported to effective only up to the maximum period of 6 months following patrition. IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperms within the uterus, and copper ions release suppresses sperm motility. Administration of progestogen or proestrogen-estrogen combinations or IUDs within 72 hours of coitus has been found to be very effective as emergency contraceptives, as they could be used to avoid possible pregnancy due to rape or casual unprotected intercourse. So the answer for this question is option C. From the given 4 statements, second and third statement alone correct. Question number 18. In MOET, embryo transfer into surrogate mothers is done at which of the following stage? In MOET, embryo transfer into surrogate mothers is done 8 to 32 celled stage. So the answer is option A. Question number 19. The cell junction called a tight adhering and gap junction are found in. A cell junction called as tight adhering and gap junction are found in epithelial tissues. So the answer for this question is option C. Epithelial tissue, the adjacent cells form Ion-rich gap or cell junctions for intracellular communications and chemical exchange. Question number 20. Which of the phylum contains exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organisms with the tissue level organization? Members of phylum Ctenopora, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organisms, tissue level organization. The answer is option B, Ctenopora. Question number 21. Spore producing body of cellular slime mold is. A spore producing body of cellular slime mold is sporangium. In slime molds, the multinucleate protoplasm of sporangium undergoes cleavage to form spores. Question number 22. Reena gave birth to mentally retarded child who also had stunted growth. The doctor informed that the child's condition was because of some endocrine problem in the mother during pregnancy. Which of the following is most likely to be cause? The low secretion of thyroid hormone from thyroid gland is responsible for this kind of problem. So the answer is option D. Question number 23. Which of the following antibody can characterized by the following features? Hemoglobin M, that is IgM, the heaviest antibody, the first antibody which comes into the action after entry of pathogen. It is a pentamer. So the correct option is option C, IgM, hemoglobin muta. Question number 24. Which one of the following is an incorrect matching of microbe and its industrial product? Monoscus purpureus, statins, that is a correct one. Astrobacter aceti, acetic acid, that also correct one. Clostridium botulicum, lactic acid, so that is the incorrect one about industrial product. Aspergillus niger, citric acid, that also correct. Clostridium botulicum bacterium produce butyric acid, is industrially used. So the answer is option C, that is incorrectly matched. Question number 25. What are the two key concepts of Darwinism? Fitness is the end result of ability to adapt and get selected by nature. In an organism, fitness depends upon the inherited characteristics, so there must be a genetic basis for getting selected and evolve. We can say that some organisms in a population are better adapted to survive in the hostile environment. So the answer for this question is option A. Natural selection and branching descendant are the two key concepts of Darwinism. Question number 26. The chitinous exoskeleton of arthropods is formed by the polymerization of. The chitinous exoskeleton of arthropods is formed by the polymerization of N-acetylglucosamine. So the correct option is B. Question number 27. The correct order of response of organs for increasing blood pressure. In response to decrease in blood pressure or GFR, the kidney release renin. Renin acts on the liver and converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. In the lungs, angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2. With the help of angiotensin converting enzyme, angiotensin 2 is vasoconstrictor and also stimulates the adrenal gland, which releases aldosterone. Aldosterone acts on the kidney and helps absorption of sodium ions. Thus, this mechanism increases blood pressure. The answer is option A. Kidney, liver, lungs, adrenal gland, kidney is a correct order. Question number 28. Which of the following hormone stimulates the reabsorption of electrolytes in the kidney? ADH, antidiuretic hormone, stimulates the reabsorption of electrolytes in the kidney. So the correct option is C. Question number 29. Formation of acrosome in the function of. Acrosome is present on sperm head and consists of hydrolytic enzyme. Question number 30. Which of these discrepancy of five kingdom classification? In the main aim of classification is group similar organisms together. The five kingdom classification given by Whittaker, prokaryotes are separated from eukaryotes, and fungi, which were earlier placed in the plant kingdom, were placed in the separate kingdom as the saprophytes. However, viruses that are non-cellular have not been given any place in the classification. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 33. Hemocyanin, the blue color respiratory pigment of molluscans blood contains. In mollusks, the blood vascular system is open type, in which blood is pumped by heart pass through large vessels into open space of the body cavities called as sinuses. Blood is usually blue due to the presence of a copper containing blue respiratory pigment called hemocyanin. So the answer is option B. Copper as the central metal ion. Question number 34. Neurons found in the cerebral cortex are. Neurons found in the cerebral cortex are non-myelinated and multipolar neurons, so that provide gray matter. Myelinated neurons provide white matter, but in the cerebral cortex contain non-myelinated neurons, so it provides gray matter. So the correct option is D. Question number 35. See the diagrammatic representation. The structures are two amino acids, each of which has two amine groups. A peptide bond is formed between two amino acids. Which group could form the peptide bond? Proteins are polypeptides. They are linear chains of amino acids linked by peptide bonds. Amino acids join to form polypeptides. The carboxyl group of one molecule reacts with the amino group of other molecule, releasing a molecule of water. One of the participating amino acid loses hydroxyl group from its carboxylic acid group, while the other loses hydrogen atom from amine group. This leaves a carbon atom of the first amino acid free to bind with the nitrogen atom of the second, and resulting link formed called as peptide bond. So the answer is option B, second and fourth one. Zoology, section A followed by section B. From section B, let us discuss 15 questions. See the first question. Which of the following is a histopathological examination? A biopsy is a medical procedure that involves taking a small sample of tissue so that it can be examined under microscope. So the correct option for this question is option D, biopsy. Question number 2. Chemically hormones are proteins, steroids and biogenic amines. So the correct option is option B. Question number 3. What is the name of the bone that is not labeled? See the diagrammatic representation. Here femur, patella, tibia are labeled. Fibula is not labeled. So the answer for this question is option A, fibula. Question number 4. Alveoli is the site for gaseous exchange in the respiratory system of humans. Gas exchange occurs due to the gradient in the partial pressure of gases during the process. The partial pressures of oxygen in alveoli is found to be. The pressure exerted by particular gas in the mixture of gases is called partial pressure. For a smooth exchange of oxygen, the partial pressure of oxygen must be higher in alveoli than in the blood capillary, creating a gradient for movement of gases from high to low. So the answer is option B, more than that in oxygenated blood. Question number 5. In the earlier classification system, bacteria, fungi, ferns, gymnosperms and angiosperms are included under plantae on the basis of the earlier system of classification. Bacteria, fungi, ferns, gymnosperms and angiosperms are together placed under plantae due to the presence of cell wall. So the correct option is D. Question number 6. J fell ill after having sandwich which was kept in the refrigerator, but bacteria or viruses do not survive in cold temperatures. So which response must have microorganism adapted to in order to survive? There are four major ways through which an organism can cope with stressful conditions: by regulating the constant body temperature, by changing the body temperature with not maintain constant body temperature, by getting conformed migration to the comfortable area and return when the stressful period gets over, and a suspension of their activities that help to survive in stressful conditions. Example: bacteria, fungi, lower plants form thick walled spores. So the answer is option C, suspension. Question number 7. Phylum and related characteristics are given below. Choose the appropriate option which fills the blanks. The excretory organs of arthropod are nephridia, coxal glands, green gland, Malpighian tubules with open circulatory system. They respire by help trachea or book lungs. Mollusks also have well-developed excretory system using tubular nephridia organized as kidneys. They respire by help of gills, which also called as tenidia. Amphibia possess two kidneys located dorsally in the body cavity, which helps in excretion of waste. So the answer for this question is option D. Malpighian tubules, mollusca, kidney and lung. Question number 9. Which of the following are used to induce partition? Oxytocin and pitocin, these both are used to induce partition. At the end of the pregnancy and completion of full term, to induce labor and partition, the doctor may inject oxytocin to woman. The synthetic oxytocin is called as pitocin. So the answer for this question is option D. Question number 10. The volume of blood pumped out by each ventricle per cardiac cycle is called as stroke volume, which is about 70 ml. So the answer for this question is option A. That is the correct option. Question number 11. Which of the following is incorrect regarding copper T? Intrauterine devices or contraceptives inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through vagina. Copper releasing IUDs such as copper T act as by increasing phagocytosis of sperms within the uterus, and the copper ions releasing suppresses sperm motility and the fertilizing capacity of sperms. Ovulation is controlled by FSH and LH hormones. Copper T does not prevent ovulation. So the answer is option D, preventing ovulation. That is incorrect regarding copper T. Question number 12. Which of the following is not a basidiomycetes? Aspergillus is a member of Ascomyces, which is commonly called as sac fungi. Agaricus commonly called as mushroom. Ustilago commonly called as smut fungi. Puccinia commonly called as rust fungi. So the answer is option C, Aspergillus. Question number 13. What is not true about mutation according to Hugo Dury's theory? A single step large mutation to produce a species can never occur. Hugo Dury, based on his work on evening primrose, brought forth the idea of mutations. Large difference arising suddenly in a population, he believed that it is mutation that causes evolution and not the minor variations that Darwin talked about. Mutations are random and directionless, while Darwinian variations are small and directional. Hugo Duris believed saltation, that means single step large mutation, caused the formation of species. Saltation is a single step large mutation. So the answer is option D. A single step large mutation to produce a species can never occur. Question number 14. When a cardiac muscle cell receives a signal to contract, its neighbors are also stimulated to contract. This is due to the presence of intercalated disc. Unique junctions called intercalated disc, it is commonly called as gap junctions, link the cells together and define their borders. Intercalated discs are the major intercalated discs are the major portals for cardiac cell to cell communications. So the answer is option B. Question number 15. Read the following statements and select true or false. So here totally there are 4 statements are given. See the statement A. The notochord is an ectodermal derivative rod-like structure in chordates. So that is the false one. Notochord is the mesodermally derived rod-like structure in chordates. The second statement B. Platyhelminthes are triploblastic and acoelomate animals, as helminthes are triploblastic and pseudocoelomate animals. The alternation of generation in obelia is called as metagenesis. So from the given 4 statements, A, B, C are false. D is true. So the correct option is C. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. All the best.